Welcome, mutantbass.com. I'm going to share with you just a little tip I came across that helps me hold the bass guitar in a classical position. There are many ways to hold the bass in a classical position, and you'll find many different I guess tools out there, or padding, or different ways to hold your guitar up in an upright position. But this way, I know, is definitely different. I definitely haven't seen anyone do it this way, and there's definitely benefits to holding your bass guitar in a classical position, particularly if you're trying to explore chords and the more type of solo type of style on the bass guitar. It definitely helps to be able to have your left hand very free as well as your right hand free. Being in a rest position is crucial. So let me start real quick. When people first start holding the bass guitar or in a classical position or exploring it, they put it on the horn on their leg. I'll put this down. And that is interesting in its own way, because the guitar doesn't, you'll notice, is so thin it just won't hold. Then I've seen people try to pinch the guitar with both legs, which kind of can work. And it definitely, this position feels very good with the right hand. It's a little far for the left hand. And you definitely can't see your fretboard as easily. So what people end up having to do is they have to lean forward, which is weird a little bit when they're playing, because it's really bad for your posture. And then what I've seen is people put a footstool up at the max level. They raise this leg up to try to offset their body from leaning forward. And I don't like wearing, I don't like footstools because, one, I've checked out footstools quite a bit, and I bought a couple of them, and the metal just seems cheap. I don't know. I don't like carrying them too as well. It's just another thing I have to carry to my gig. So then I've seen people, and I know you've probably seen this too, but they've decided, okay, we'll put the guitar in their shoulder, and that might help the situation. And it kind of does, except I don't like the way the guitar sits on your body in this position. The bass kind of angles toward this way, away from my, kind of this way, when I'd rather kind of angling a little bit more forward a little bit, in more of a shotgun position. And I've written an article on mutantbass.com on the shotgun method, so check that out. But I don't like this method because it forces my fretting arm to pull back, which kind of makes a weird strain here. And then my right arm, to clear the body of the bass, has to do this. I've never liked the way this looks when people play the bass this way, because to me this does not look like a resting position. And I don't care if you don't have any angles, acute angles on your wrist. This is not restful. To me, resting would be simply like this. So if I could play the bass like this would be restful for me. Now, it might be different for you, but I would try this out. I recommend trying it out. But my elbows drop. They're not forward like this. I don't play like this, and I'm not rigid like a robot. They drop. I can move around. It should be free, kind of like an upright bass player. Their elbow, just kind of like the right hand elbow, is very free. So I wanted to explore ways to get that, to be able to achieve that. And the first thing I did was I sat far back on my chair, and I had the bass actually sit on the chair. And I noticed now the bass is a very vertical position. My elbows can fall, and my hands, there's no acute angles on my wrists when I play. But then I came across this issue here. How is this bass going to stay up? So then I tried putting the strap up here, and then what I noticed is it still kind of falls back. It starts to, there we go, it just falls back. And then I'm back to square one. So then what I did was this. And this is what I think you should definitely try out. It looks weird. Not might, it does look weird. But it feels good. I put the strap, the regular strap is still here, but instead of connecting to the bottom part of the bass, Both ends of the strap are connected to the top part of the horn. Now my arms can just fall down and play. I'm not holding the bass. I'm sitting farther back. My posture is more upright. They can definitely play some chords with very relative ease, particularly chords like that O'Teal plays that are very like close voicing type of chords. Because my wrist is straight, I'm also able to do this really easy stretch for some of these big chords. And I don't have issue with my wrists. It feels like a more upright bass type of position, so it's not necessarily like a classical position now, but it did stem from exploring the classical way of holding the bass guitar. Now you're definitely going to run across this issue. Depending on where your instrument cable connects to your bass, you're going to run across the issue of, well, how the heck am I going to plug my bass in? I found for me, it works okay because the hole isn't right there, but it's to the side a little bit. I have actually an L cable, and it just plugs in, and it doesn't actually get in the way. If yours gets in the way, you might have to just figure out a different solution, but I hope this solution can help any bass players who might have shoulder issues, like I do, and are trying to hold their bass in a different way to maybe explore the more chordal type of approach on bass. This is just a very comfortable way of playing. I can go more upright if I want to turn my wrist. I can just keep it this way. Slapping is extremely comfortable because my wrist, I don't even have to deal with, I don't have to move my hand at all. Everything still stays the same. So, it's just very comfortable. I can play fingerstyle and then it just immediately goes into chordal style as well. It's all right in front of me. And there's no need to adjust my wrist. So I can go from regular 2-finger to then arpeggiating chords without ever having to change my hand position, which I really like. To then slapping without even having to change anything. And that's pretty much this way of holding the bass guitar. I would just explore it yourself. I hope it helps for you. It's definitely something that I've been checking out for quite some time that will help, with my posture at least. But go to meetandbass.com.
Meetandbass.com